Okay, everybody, guess what? We're back. That doesn't mean anything except for the fact that we decided to torture you all one more time.
We haven't been canceled yet.
Welcome back.
We've made it to
We don't know what the
episode
name-
2.
You have. I don't know what the name of the show is because somebody else is using brothers-in-law, but maybe it is, and I don't know. So you know what it is because you're watching this now or listening to it. Anyway, welcome back. I'm Matt. We've got Steve and we got Michael. Say hello, gentlemen.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hello, gentlemen.
Nicely done. Steve was the first one to pick up on the airplane-esque joke.
Only the highest quality of humor on the podcast to be named later.
Look out,
Ooh,
Zucker Brothers.
Is there a podcast titled "A Podcast to Be Named Later"? Because that actually,
You know what? I think there is. Honest to God, there is something to that effect I've seen. I've seen name redacted. I've seen to be named later. Podcast names they're a hard nut to crack, but when you crack them, I think we can do it, guys.
Wasn't there a Major League Baseball player who was once traded for a player to be named later, and it ended up being him?
There was a player recently on the Red Sox who played for 2 different teams in the same game.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it was a suspended game.
Danny Jansen.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
his at bat that the game was suspended during, by the way. It was his at bat for the Blue Jays that his game was suspended. The game was suspended. Then he got traded, and then on a makeup game, they finished the game, and he was then catching his own at bat.
Okay, so according to Wikipedia, always an authoritative source,
Yes.
there actually have been 4 Major League Baseball players who have been traded for themselves. The first of which was Harry Cheedy.
Sure.
Good old Harry.
Hair chair.
I don't know. I thought there was one, but apparently, and of course, the first trade involved the Mets, so that tracks.
That's it. Steve, have you ever had a student of yours list Wikipedia as a source in a paper?
Over my dead body.
Have they tried?
They have tried, and they have. Usually, I specifically warn them not to do it.
Yeah.
But it usually elicits a very negative reaction from me. Mm-hmm. Not because I don't think Wikipedia is great, not because I don't rely on it all the time, as we have just demonstrated, but because when I'm trying to teach my students how to provide authoritative sources for things, easily editable online encyclopedias are not necessarily where I would start.
It's not a primary source.
I mean, not for much.
I mean, also they have the links to the primary source.
Right.
Usually.
That's true.
Usually, especially
Yes.
the higher quality pages.
Yeah.
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 So so the storm has happened. I want to hear it. Steve, last we left you, you were confident that you had a 3-hour volleyball practice in which you could pick up some salt.
Yes, the Great Salt Finding Expedition of 2026 was a catastrophic failure. As perhaps sort of demonstrated by the fact that here it is Friday, 5 days after the last snow fell on Washington, and at least until about 2 hours ago, our driveway and street were still completely unplowed, unshoveled, not unshoveled, but the shoveling didn't make very much progress. Impassable, I think, is the technical term.
Wow. Wait, so are you home?
So I'm in my for real office because Georgetown, which was closed all week but had virtual continuous learning continuity, decided to open today on Friday, and because we finally gave in and rented a car.
Oh, so you rented a car. Hang on. Let me just wrap my head around this. Because your street was unplowed, and your street is a hill, so obviously it's going to be,
as the French might say.
But a cul-de-sac that goes up.
That's right.
So you have rented a car, which means now how did you go about this? Did you put on your snowshoes and trek to the bottom of the street?
Yes.
And then get an Uber from there?
Yes. This is exactly what happened. An Uber to the nearest Hertz neighborhood rental location, which happens to be at the Washington Hilton. And a car was procured because it turns out you can't actually effectively run a family with 2 kids activities when things are open without transportation in this city.
Yeah, that is a problem.
Steve, I don't know if it will make you, well, it'll probably make you feel worse, but
Great.
I consulted ChatGPT because I was curious when Karen sent me a picture the other day of your street still not plowed.
Yeah.
So according to ChatGPT, and you're the DC resident, so you check me. There's approximately 682 miles of what ChatGPT calls local roads within Washington DC proper. And ChatGPT also says that the average snowplow in a 24-hour period in what they call tight urban streets could plow between 30 and 80 miles a day.
Oh, no, I know. And the number of snowplows DC has means that, like, we should have been done by Monday afternoon.
So that was my question, because on the low end, I mean, you've been now snowed in for
5 days.
5 days, yeah.
Yep.
So on the low end, that implies that there's like 4 or 5 snowplows dedicated to local roads in Washington, D.C. And on the high end, it implies that there's like 1.5 snowplows dedicated to local roads in Washington, D.C.
Without going into an extended rant on how we don't have a local newspaper in Washington anymore, which in the old days might have reported on such things, apparently what happened is that the city has 2 types of snowplows. What are called light snowplows, which are for all of those so-called residential streets, and heavy snowplows, which are for the major thoroughfares, the highways, etc. And apparently the city discovered, much to its chagrin, early on Monday, that the so-called snowcrete, meaning the layer of ice on top of the snow, was actually damaging the light snowplows. And so it stopped deploying light snowplows and only sent heavy snowplows, which was a problem for those roads that are not large enough for the heavy snowplows to make it up.
Well, you could have called Mr. Plow.
Well, so actually what ended up happening,
Okay, let's hear it,
alert,
yep.
right? We and our 3 other neighbors in our cul-de-sac all got together, pitched in, and just basically hired a bunch of guys to come dig out the cul-de-sac all by themselves.
Like an ad hoc HOA.
Kind of, and so I'm really glad that my tax revenue is going toward its intended purposes.
Steve, when you were
By the way,
renting the car,
this is the most first world problems conversation in the history of the world. Like, poor us, we rented a car so we could drive our children.
There's no prize for comparing your suffering to other people.
There's no shame in living your life and having problems that you have. It's okay.
Yeah.
We're not judging
you.
you.
Be ashamed, but okay.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair. That's fair. You can choose shame. We're not trying to shame you. My question to you is, are you parking the rental car down the street then?
Yeah, of course.
And then you got to like drag the kids through the snow every day.
Let's
Both
just say
ways?
Everyone has gotten very used to walking on the nice little sheet of ice that is our street, and we've only I think we've only each fallen about one time each.
Okay.
No bones have been broken in the making of this movie, so we're gonna make it.
All right, and on the other side of things, Michael, in Connecticut, you were confident that your plow would be there when it was going to be there, and you were going to be A-okay. How'd that go?
Yeah. We got. I'm looking out. We got about 14, 16 inches of snow.
Wow.
But the first run from the plow, the streets were fine. By midday Monday, and our driveway was plowed that night. In fact.
Wow.
Yeah, so we had no real issues.
They do it right in Connecticut.
They do it right in Connecticut.
Were the kids back in school
that's our
on
new
Tuesday?
state motto.
Did
school was canceled Monday.
New Hampshire, it's what's new.
Yeah. We're no longer the nutmeg state. We're the state that does it right. School was canceled Monday. We had a 2-hour delay on Tuesday, which seemed
point?
perfunctory. Although most of the towns around us also canceled school on Tuesday. So, I guess.
I mean, Montgomery County Public Schools, right, which is the immediate northern suburbs of DC, has been closed all week. They're closed today.
That's like Bethesda, that area?
Bethesda, Rockville, Chevy Chase, Silver Spring, all the above. They've been closed all week. DCPS just reopened yesterday with a 2-hour delay. And, we send Sydney to before care. So actually a 2-hour delay is really a 3-hour delay. Good times.
Got it. Yep.
Yeah. But you were able to walk her to school? I mean, I know you live down the street, but...
I mean, yeah, it's a good thing that she's an ice skater.
and a good one at that.
And she is a better ice skater than anyone I know, that's for sure.
Well, you have a high center of gravity.
It's true.
For those who don't know, did we explain this? Everybody. Did we explain this last week when you talked about one of your hobbies being basketball?
I don't think we got into my ridiculous height.
Steve, to my knowledge, Steve, you hover around the 6'7" to 8" range.
Yep, I think that's 6'7". Michael's doing
6'7", yeah.
So Sydney is very upset that I'm not actually 6'7". That I am LeBron height, as I like to say. But my basketball skills are not quite on par.
Wait, how tall is LeBron? Is he 6'8"?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Because Aaron Judge is 6'7". Did you know that?
I did know that.
You're taller than Aaron Judge.
Wow,
that's very exciting to me.
I'm taller than a lot of people who are much more talented than I am.
Your problem would also be the low strike getting called on you.
As in my very long high school baseball career, a phenomenon I often encountered
was the low strike. Michael, what are you, 6'1", 6'2"?
The medium
I'm 6'1". Yeah, I'm 6'1". Look, without shoes on, am I maybe 6 feet, a half an inch, maybe? But I give myself 6'1".
It's the Diego Pavia question, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm right. I'm not I don't say I'm 6'1", but I'm actually 5'9". I am.
Karen is on the verge of being passed by Maddie.
I have seen those pictures. That is jarring.
It's going to happen very soon.
Oh, I mean, so we bet 6 months ago. We bet whether Maddie, our now 10-year-old daughter, would be taller than Karen before Maddie's 11th birthday, and I bet heavily on the under.
So, I feel good about that. That's going to come in hot, Steve.
Yeah,
you're going to do great. You're going to do great.
That's a good one.
That's I'm gonna take money out of my checking account and put it back into my checking account, and it's going to feel great.
Matt, how did you handle the snowstorm?
How did you in LA?
Yeah.
Oh, guys, first of all, let me tell you, we have been having those crazy swings where the day starts out in the early 40s, maybe sometimes 49 degrees, and it creeps and creeps. And today, I believe, it is going to be 80 degrees. So these are just big swings. I start my day in a hoodie, and then by the midday, it's like, this is too much. I need it off of me. I look at the pool and I think, well, you're open. Should I go in you? And then I, decide not to. It's one of the benefits of Los Angeles is the tempered, the climate. I would say the climate is the main benefit of Los Angeles.
Yep.
Otherwise it's dirty, it's expensive, it's crowded, and it is not great. It's not great on the public school system out here. So there's a lot of negatives. But ask me how many times your sister has played tennis this week, and I will answer you. Go ahead, ask.
Outdoor tennis, you mean?
Outdoor tennis. Go ahead, ask me how many times
indoor
she's
tennis. Karen can.
Yeah, I can play indoor tennis. How many times has she played tennis, Matt?
I want to say 12 times in the last week.
Well, that is a lot of tennis.
I'm not even kidding. She played on Wednesday. She played 3 times. It's insane. She's going to sectionals this weekend.
I feel like she goes to sectionals every weekend.
That's her other tennis team. She has 2 tennis teams. She has a 2-5 team and a 3-0 team, and she's the captain of one of those. And she's just, obsessed with tennis. And I think that's when we talk about maybe moving back to the East Coast, we do the whole not being able to play tennis in the winter is like really high on the list of reasons why your sister doesn't want to move.
Are
Although
you
Karen
familiar with indoor tennis?
I was going to say, Karen's playing tennis like 3-4 times a week right now.
As I said to her, we could build a bubble. We could get a bubble and, put a tennis court in there.
With
and
all the money you're saving by paying D.C. or New York or Connecticut property
You could
values
build one in my
hotels.
backyard.
Yeah.
Michael's got so much yard. He doesn't need that much grass to cut.
I wouldn't even notice it.
He wouldn't even see us half the time.
Yeah. I could amortize the landscaping savings into
If you
building a tennis bubble.
You are as single dad widow, you are and your sister and her husband and child moving to your backyard as a TV writer. This screams great sitcom.
I mean,
Like TGIF.
like
It's full. It's like Full House.
Full House,
It's,
yeah, Full
it's
House.
exactly like Full House, almost.
It's too late for Full House 2. Fuller House has already happened.
Oh, that's right.
I'm
Fuller
like
House.
I'm like Uncle Jesse.
Because the girls were obsessed with Fuller House, and I was like, "What the hell? Why is this happening to me?"
My kids were briefly obsessed with Full House. Did your kids like Full House?
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
No, we went straight
Was
to
it
Fuller
streaming?
House.
Yeah. I mean, was it streaming? Everything's streaming.
Oh, that's not entirely accurate, I would like to say. There are some shows that don't exist anymore. Like things that get made for Netflix and then get pulled because of weird licensing
Sure.
and stuff like that. It is so weird. Like I can't, for instance, my show After Trek is not on Paramount Plus anymore. I don't think it's
Shonda.
on I don't think it's on Netflix internationally. It might still be, but I've never seen an episode of it, and I would not know how to get a hold of an episode of my
Is
show.
the Star Trek are the Star Trek episodes that it was based on on streaming?
All of Star
Yes.
Trek's on Paramount.
Yeah. Actually, that's not true, Steve. Let me tell you. Star Trek Prodigy Season 2, which was funded by Netflix,
Oh, I walked into this.
is not available on Paramount Plus. And Netflix pulled it. So you cannot watch Season 2 of Star Trek Prodigy unless you purchase it. For
This is actually,
$24.99.
this is my complaint about Battlestar Galactica.
Which is that
It's
is
not. You can't
worse.
get it anywhere unless you buy it.
Is that accurate? I guess you're telling me it is. I've never looked for it, so I've got the DVDs of that. Like the things I really care about, I have hard copies
You have
of
a
most
DVD
of them.
player?
I have a PlayStation 5, which will play
Ah,
a DVD,
touche.
no problem. But also, in fairness, I do have a region-free DVD Blu-ray player because I was buying some British shows on DVD, like Toast of London and the IT Crowd. And
As
I
one
wanted
does.
the British special features. Yeah.
What are the British special features?
Some commentary tracks that aren't available on the American.
Got it. Got it.
There's some stuff. I love a DVD bonus feature, which is I think no one really misses them, and because streaming doesn't have them.
Right. Right.
It has the capability,
Yeah. Right. They could add the director's cut or whatever.
no problem. I have a couple
Yeah.
versions of the Avengers movies that have a selectable audio track for the commentary.
Interesting.
So they were still doing that for a little while. And then Disney stopped physical media of the Marvel movies after Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. So then after that, you're stuck with streaming. And if they ever go off streaming, what are you going to do?
That's
I'm just saying. Own your media, people.
Sydney
you.
said to me the other day, somehow the term VHS came up. She said, VHS, is that how you guys streamed when you were growing up?
Yes. Streamed.
We
Yes.
streamed it all.
I
I wonder what-
Karen and I were remarking on the phenomenon of like having to like go sit on the couch at a particular time to watch a particular show.
Yes.
But my kids still don't get that. I've explained the concept of channels
Yeah.
and how things were only on at a certain time and how did you know what was going to be on?
Right, the TV guide. Oh no,
Either the TV guide or that channel that had all the listings in a single scroll.
Scroll.
But no, Karen was explaining to the girls like the physical TV guide that used to actually be,
or in the newspaper. It was published every day in the newspaper.
Yep.
Oh my God! The TV guide. I would flip to the back and I would look for all the movies that had nudity. And I would be like, yes. And then I'd look it up, be like, okay, Cinemax at midnight on Friday, no problem. Emmanuel in space, here I come.
You were one of those fancy families that had Cinemax.
Oh, we had cable. We were a big cable family. We had, I remember when we first had 30 something channels. HBO. I grew up with HBO.
As you may be not surprised to hear, we didn't have the extras.
Sure.
We did have cable.
The way Dory explains it to me, it sounds like your family allowed like 16 minutes of television a year.
No. That sounds like a first child syndrome that Dory likes to
Thank you.
revert to occasionally. There were no limits on TV.
What?
We had limits. We definitely had limits.
We definitely did not have limits. I mean, look,
Michael, you're blowing the lid off this thing.
Yeah, we had to do our homework.
Sure.
It wasn't like we all did our homework. I often did it in front of the TV, which drove my mom crazy.
Sure. I remember my mom would not let us watch Roseanne until one day she watched an episode and was transfixed.
Oh no! I mean, not only were there no limits, there was never any like, oh, you can't watch this. I mean, like I used to watch NYPD Blue with my mom.
This is why I thought Dory couldn't watch. The Simpsons.
I must have been 10 or 11. No.
Let me say, by the way, watching a drama show. I mean, frankly, watching anything with your mother, but watching a drama show with your mother. So I made the mistake early in my relationship with Karen of watching a Law and Order with your mother, and Steve, who do you think did it? Wait, can they do that? Are they? Oh, I'm sure it was this person. Like she's very quick to judge exactly who's responsible. She predicts what's going to happen.
It's the guest star you've seen before. That's who did it.
It's like watching with your kid, basically.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Dory's a little bit like that too, where she'll like ask me questions about what's going to happen in a thing that we're both watching for the first time, and I'm just like, what if we just watched and found out?
I mean, dearly departed, but my wife, when we would watch a show together, within the first 10 minutes, she was on the internet looking how the entire series concluded. Any show we ever watched together.
Now,
no
Michael,
matter what.
would this lead Allison to like be into it, or would this be like, okay, I've read the last page, I'm done, like a la Harry and When Harry Met Sally?
That didn't really have an impact. She would still be in. If she liked the show, she would still be into it. But she could not watch a television series without knowing what happened at the end.
That's wild.
Yeah, it like I couldn't even fathom wanting to do. I wouldn't even want to know what happened at the end of the episode, let alone the entire story arc of the series.
I think being in a writer's room for so long, it sort of broke me for television in the sense of like, I know the formula and I know, the act breakdown, and I know what I can sort of see a lot of plot coming before it comes, and then I think that sort of desensitized me to spoilers because I just was like, whatever. I'm gonna if I find out something and then it's more like, let me go see how they pulled that off rather than I want to know what happens next. So I don't mind a spoiler that much, but the idea of someone who doesn't have the formula in their head wanting to get the information is like negates the entire purpose of watching
the whole purpose. The entire purpose. Also negates the purpose, one of the purposes of watching with someone else, so you can share in the reaction of what happens. It was just totally gone.
Do either of you guys watch Traitors on NBC or Peacock? No?
No.
let me tell you, it is the only current show I watch. It's a reality game show, and quite frankly, it's the best thing I've ever seen.
Really?
I love it. The people are so beautifully stupid. It is incredible. So I would recommend
I
if
have
you
trouble
guys
with watching. I mean, this is why, for example, like I could never quite get into Karen's Bravo obsession. Like I have trouble with shows where the point is the stupidity of the people who are on the shows.
So if Karen's into the Bravo stuff, she doesn't watch Traders, or do you just not watch it with her?
I don't know. I mean, the only show we're watching together right now is Landman.
Oh, on Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
Sure.
Which, if you can get past the incredibly transparent series of advertisements for big oil, is actually
You're not watching The Pit?
we're not yet. I mean, part of the problem. I mean, I've been so busy that like we're lucky if we have maybe 40 minutes a night to watch anything.
Yeah.
But no, not yet gotten into The Pit.
What time, Steve? What time are you guys? What time are you in bed? What time are you asleep?
Man, it varies. I mean, because like when I run out of time to work, like that's when I work, right? So
Yeah.
I would say when I'm not staying up late to work, sometime between 9:45 and 10:30. But if I've got something due the next day and I have no time to finish it the next day, I'm staying up till it's done. So sometimes
Right.
I write my newsletter late at night. Sometimes I finish a brief late at night. So it can get messed up in a hurry.
Michael, what about you?
I like to be in bed by 9:30.
Yeah.
I don't go to sleep until 11:30 or midnight.
So is that 2 hours of scrolling, or are you watching TV?
Both.
Ah.
If it's sports or something,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
sports and scrolling.
Michael, what time are the kids down and what time are they up?
Well, that's part of the problem.
Right.
Now my kids are a little older, so we start the bedtime rigmarole at 9, and I tell them that I'm out of the picture at 9:30.
How's that working out
It's a
for
good
you?
way to do it.
It works out pretty well during the week. They're pretty tired by 9:30 between school
Yeah.
and activities. On the weekends, now what I've done is at 9 o'clock, I say, okay, I'm going into bed. You guys are on your own.
Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do.
Do what you got to do. Now, I control the internet in my house from my Hero app. So
Yeah.
most of the internet, except for one TV, goes off at 9.
Okay. Oh, that's good.
Which helps. Now,
Yeah.
look, is it a perfect system? No. But I will say, like, one of the things I miss about my former life was the division of bedtime routine.
Yes. Yeah.
Allison and I had an incredibly rigorous routine of swapping nights. And we didn't know, like, that was...
Like inviolable.
Yes. Like, there was no horse trading. There was no, like, oh, I'm not feeling it tonight.
Yeah.
It was like, this is it.
Yeah.
I'm on bedtime every single night, which,
Right.
You guys have kids. They're all kind of the same age. Bedtime is a
Psychological
routine.
warfare.
It's warfare.
an
Whether
ordeal.
it's, time to take your medicine, go brush your teeth, calm down,
Yeah.
whatever it is. And then, one doesn't fall asleep, then they end up in your bed. Look, I love a lot of things about being a parent. Bedtime is probably my least favorite thing in the entire world, even outside of being a parent.
How old do you think they will be before you're like, okay, good night?
Well, I've started that a little bit on the weekends.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've started. My concern is, particularly with Sam, my son, who's 10. He has never been someone who has needed a lot of sleep.
Uh-huh.
I just worry that he would stay up until 2 a.m.
Sure. I mean, I remember being that age, and I would stay. At 10 years old, I would come home, and sometimes I would take a nap as soon as I got home, so that I could then stay up to watch Letterman and Conan when Conan happened. But like I would watch the Tonight Show with Carson, and then I would watch Letterman. And on weekends, my parents were gone. They'd go to bed at 9, and
Right.
I had every channel in the world and every
All
movie
28
with
of them.
nudity.
Yeah.
I knew every movie that was going to
you had
show
the TV
booby.
guide in your hands.
I was ready to go. And I would watch whatever. I grew up on, like, I was watching Dream On, and like later on I was watching Mr. Show with Bob and David on HBO, and like a lot of I was always an SNL guy, and then I just like all of the, and that to me was my formative brain. My formative years were sort of spent unsupervised in front of a television. Yeah. So when I say I was raised by television, I really feel it.
Mean it.
Like I have 3 older siblings who were out of the house by the time I was oh God, how old was I? 12. By the time I was 12, it was just me.
Yeah.
So I had free reign of everything, and it was a good time. So I like the idea, but then again, I didn't have access to the world's knowledge and every bit of media that has ever existed.
Yeah.
Had I had that, I don't know if I would have ever slept.
Well, that's listen. I have that problem, right? Like it will be midnight, and I say to myself, "You have to put your phone down. Like you have to stop scrolling,
Right.
Or you have to shut off YouTube."
Yeah.
So far be it from me to judge my son, but I do feel some responsibility to
yes, absolutely.
parent him.
Yeah. Yes.
So I guess to answer your question, I don't know what age. I feel like with Sam, it's coming soon.
Uh-huh.
There is the dynamic though, where if Sam is awake, Olivia will
want
to stay awake.
Yeah.
And stay awake.
Yes.
So the short answer is I don't know. He starts middle school next year, so maybe that's kind of a good line in the sand of saying, hey, you're on your own. But at the same time, it's kind of like, I'm not going to sleep per se.
Right.
I'm just awake. I'm just like shutting that part of my life off for the day.
Right.
To the extent I can. So I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is.
Matt, what's your guys' routine with Henry?
Well, lately Dory's been at nighttime tennis.
Tennis number 3.
7 p.m. She's got to go to a tennis, and I'm like, this could be a long affair you've been having, and I just don't know. But judging by the trophy you bring home from tennis, I'm like, okay, there's really tennis happening.
Or she's just like going to like great pains.
Very elaborate.
Yeah.
She paid like 16 women to be in a photo of her at sectionals with the banner.
AI can do a lot. Have you checked the number of
You're
fingers
not wrong.
on the hands?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go count fingers. Fingers after I wrap this up. But so she, when we are together, which I would say is honestly like 60 to 70% of the time overall, when it's not just me, she and I divide it like this. So Henry, we have dinner with Henry at 5:30. Dinner goes till 6. 6 o'clock hits, it's game time. So Henry goes and picks out a game, and we all play a game together for 30 minutes to 45 minutes. Then it's shower or bath, and then it is read stories, either chapters of whatever book you're reading or whatever. Dory will read to Henry, and then Dory will exit, and then I go in and I play a game with Henry called Dank It and Crank It, where I am Crank It and he is Dank It, and we live inside of a cave that is just his comforter. And inside the cave, we have a variety of activities we could accomplish in this time. Some of it's hide and seek inside the comforter cave, which he's actually pretty good at, believe it or not, because I'll just close my eyes and then he'll disappear to some part of the bed and I have to like feel around to find him. And oftentimes he's like sitting up on a windowsill and I've like can't find him. Anyway, we do that for about 15 minutes or so. And usually I try to be out of there by 7:45 to 8 o'clock. And then he usually will go to sleep. Now, let me tell you what it's like when Dory's not home. Here it is. Usually, she tries to leave at around 7 o'clock. So the first part of the evening remains the same. We do our dinner. We play games. Then it's shower. And then Henry will get in his pajamas, which are usually Sam's old pajamas. Mm-hmm. And then Dory will, if she's already gone, Henry will go, Dita, can I watch something? And I go, yeah, go ahead. And he goes and turns on the TV. And he sits there and he'll watch a fucking F1 highlight from 2025 for 12 minutes. Then he'll find a video where Max Verstappen is playing a game of Pictionary with like Charles Leclerc or something. Then he'll watch a Mark Rober video, which was your kids turned him on to that. Mm-hmm. So now we're fucking in Mark Rober land, which
just
is
to be clear, by your
annoying.
Kids, you mean Michael's kids,
who don't really watch that stuff. No. But
I mean all of you guys, the four of them turned on Mark Rober at Nana and Saba's house, and Henry for the first time saw it. So this was a decision made by all the cousins that has now gotten my kid addicted to science, thinly veiled science that is actually just selling a subscription service to my child. So that will happen. So here's like last night, for instance, Dory was at tennis and I was with Henry, and he'll be on watching TV, and I'll be sitting at the dining room table, which is behind our couch is the dining room table, and I'm at the end, and I have my laptop. He's got the TV. I'm watching something usually on my laptop. Headphones are on, but I have it on transparent in case he's asking me something or whatever. And I can sort of monitor what he's watching on YouTube. And what'll happen to be like, he'll be like, Dita, what time is it? And I'll be like, it's 7:58. He'll be like, okay. And then so last night, I was like, Dita, what time is it? And I'm like, 8:22. And he goes, oh. And he just turns off the TV and goes into his room, and I never saw him again. So he's like conditioned. He put himself
to bed?
He'll put himself to bed. When he's, and Dory's like, I can't, she's like, kids shouldn't have screen time an hour before they go to sleep. I'm like, okay, sure. But also, the only time I've ever seen our child just go into his bedroom, put his covers on, and not say a word again is when he's been watching television until 8 o'clock at night.
Wow.
So that is a long-winded way of saying I am not as good of a parent, say, as my wife. I'm much more lenient, and what does she call me? Well, she calls me many things, but what is she says I'm, I don't know. There's a word that I can't even remember. What does she say that I am? Whatever. It's the equivalent of being soft or easy or played like a fiddle, whatever that might be, whatever the word is. I've lost it. So anyway, that'll happen. Then here's what happens after that. Dory comes home like 9 o'clock, and I'm like on my laptop still, and she goes, how'd bedtime go? And I'm like, good. She's like, what time did you end up falling asleep? And I go, 8:22. She's like, not bad. And I'm like, yep. I just continue on my merry way. So, but Henry will like, I will honestly I try to get into bed before 9 o'clock almost every night. If it's by myself, I stay out there just in case Henry has to come out or something like that. But given my I would say the last 2 weeks, I have probably been in bed before 8 p.m. 5 times.
Wow.
and I will
He's
sleep.
living on East Coast time.
I will sleep until 6 in the morning and be happy about
Wow.
it. I am just a big fan of not being awake. I'm like
Yeah,
in a
I mean,
so I think life right now for Dory and I, because we're both like writers and the jobs have dwindled down to almost nothing, is so stressful for us that I'm like, the only time I can find peace is when my brain has shut down. So I will crawl into bed, and every morning when I wake up, I sort of go, oh, okay, I guess we're doing this again.
Matt, I am with you on that.
Yeah, you do the
I'm
same
with you
thing.
on that. Yeah,
It is
yeah.
really.
It's like, here we
You
go
just-
again.
I just wake up and I go, oh God, okay, I guess I made it another day.
Yep. Yep. We're back.
Anyway, Steve, what time are you waking up?
we have a pretty rigid morning routine because Maddie, our older kid, her bus comes at 7:14.
Oof.
And so, we are invariably up, I don't know, 6:30, 6:35, so that we can get Maddie. Maddie's at the point where she will wake up by herself between like 6 and 6:15 on non-school days. But if it's a school day, you have to pour cold water on her and drag her ass out of bed. And so we wait for like the last possible moment, which is probably around 6:45 to do that.
She's like her uncles. She wakes up and says, "Another day of this bullshit."
I got to do this again. Are you
Except
kidding me?
except when she doesn't have school, and then she's
Right,
like,
except on the
"Hey,
weekends.
Mommy,
Yeah.
Daddy, why aren't you awake
Yeah.
yet?" And we're like, "Because we don't have to wake up for anything."
Michael, do you have does Sam and Olivia wake up before you all the time?
So my town, a few years ago, decided that elementary school was going to start at 9.
Ugh.
So my kid's bus comes at 8:30.
That is a
Olivia-
town full of people who don't really need to work for a living.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Which
Yes,
facts, by
yes.
the way.
Which is true. So, Olivia wakes up probably between 7 and 7:30, I would say.
Uh huh. Okay.
Sam, most mornings, I go into his room at 8 o'clock and wake him up.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so he's already kind of hit that, teenage boy sleeping in mode.
Yeah.
Like if it's the weekend and he tells me the next day that he stayed up until midnight, he will sleep until like 9 or 9:30
Wow.
the next morning, kind of no problem.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's very impressive.
Yeah. I mean, I've also
No one-
trained
No one
I've
in
tr-
our house sleeps in. Nobody.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a sleeper, so like I can still sleep,
But the other, Karen. You know this about Karen. Karen is like one of the world's great nappers, right? Like,
Yes, yes.
She has no trouble napping. Just whatever she can find, like an hour, hour and a half, sometimes even 45 minutes on a random day.
But Karen is
I
also someone like excited to wake up and seize the day, like she like it's like hell yeah, another day. I'm
Yeah.
waking up because
I don't want
that's
to add
what I'm
another
excited
moment
about.
of disappointment
As
to my
the first
day.
person who sees her in the morning, I'm just going to respectfully dissent from that characterization of what her first verbal expressions are when consciousness is gained in the morning.
I think it's like there's a real I had sleep apnea bad for a long time, to the point where I was like getting maybe 2 to 2.5 hours of sleep every night, and it was miserable. Like I was miserable for a year and a half. I was falling asleep at red lights. It was bad.
Wow.
And every day I'd look at the clock and it'd be like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'd be like, all right, I guess I'm up. And I would just get up and I would start my day, and I would go golf in the morning, first tee time. I'd be out there by myself, and I'd play a 90-minute to 2-hour round of 18 as fast as
quick.
I could do it. Then I would get home, and I would just like take Henry to school if I needed to, if I could finish before, like depending on when the daylight was starting, and so on and so forth. But like the day I was sitting here, I would fall asleep at dinner too, at the dinner table. But there was there was a time when I was doing a podcast in this chair, and I fell asleep during the podcast, and my head hit the Monster Energy can that was in front of me. And I was like, oh, I'm past the point of no return. This is beyond untenable.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to get in for a sleep study, and I got a CPAP. And the first time I had the CPAP, I slept. It was the middle of the day. I slept for 4 hours, woke up, then did the whole dinner and bedtime routine. Then I went to bed again, and I slept for 12 hours. It was the greatest thing ever. So now that I have the CPAP, that's why I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna get to bed because I am like breathing great every night.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not snoring. I was sleeping on the couch for 1.5 years because my snoring woke Dory up. So
That's rough.
I was like stuck out there.
Been there.
So
Been there.
But then I got the CPAP, and I'm like, I'm a silent assassin. I sleep silently all night.
Usually I sleep on the couch because of graver sins than waking Karen up.
Sure. But I got to a point where I was like, this couch is way more comfortable than our bed. And I was like, trying to be like, should we maybe all sleep on the couch? It's like really great out here. I think, yeah. And then, Henry would always wake up, and I would be awoken usually by Henry full weight of his body landing on my back because I sleep on my stomach, and he would just boom sit on me and go, "Hey, Dita." I'm like, okay, thank you.
So this was the other complication in our sleeping situation, was that until last September, we had a pug who absolutely positively had to sleep in bed with us, and most nights had to sleep physically touching me.
Yep.
And that's a snoring beast. That's like an animal built to snore.
Karen would put in earplugs and pump up the white noise and leave me to my own devices. Like, anything happens in the night, Steven, you're problem.
You're up.
Bo will sometimes wake us up, like, and he's big. He's an 85-pound, dog.
Yeah, Gus
So
wakes me up. I mean, Gus will wake up. Lately, he's been waking up at about 7. And I'm not even sure. He wakes up. Like, he wakes up and he starts, like,
Is it
stomping.
to get you to go outside?
Yeah, I think it's like 20% to go outside, 80% because he wants his breakfast.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, he's a dog that can hold it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, he'll rouse at 7 and start, pawing at me or on the floor doing his little Shih Tzu grunts and sneezes until I wake up. So that's a problem because with my kids, because the bus doesn't come till 8:30 and I work from home, I wake up at 8 if uninterrupted.
If you have an office day and you have to get into the city, how long does that take you?
Each way?
Yeah.
It's about 2 hours door to door.
Jesus.
Yeah. Luckily, I don't need to have office days. I am going in next Wednesday. Just, I try to go in like once a quarter.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
I don't want to push things here.
So, are you taking the train or are you driving?
Now at this point, I'm taking the train. Like driving from Westport, Connecticut to New York City I did that enough with Allison a million times. I really have no desire to sit in traffic for up to 3 hours if you get unlucky.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah. I mean, if I left at 5 a.m, it would take me under an hour, but any sort
Right.
of like work commuting times, it's at least 2 hours in the car each way.
So even if you were like, I'm going to go into the city, I'm going to go to Equinox, and then I'm going to have breakfast, and then I'm going to start work, and then,
No.
but you still have to
No.
end work at some point and then be sitting in traffic on the way home.
Yeah, it would be, no, I wouldn't do it.
Wow. Okay.
There's also
Good to know.
there's no time to leave the city. The traffic
Right.
starts at like 2, and there's
Yeah.
traffic until 8
Yeah.
or later. Like it's a
Yeah.
6-hour rush hour window.
So I
Jesus.
think you guys know. When we moved back to DC, I started commuting on an e-bike, and I actually when the weather is amenable, which it is at the moment not. That's actually usually how I get to work.
And that takes, how long does that take you versus driving?
The e-bike in the morning, it's a pretty reliable 25 minutes. It can be 30 in the afternoon. The morning drive can be as fast as 20 if I leave early enough. Like it really makes a difference whether I'm, leaving at 7:30 versus 8. But the afternoon drive is a nightmare, and so the real value added is in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to ride my bike to Sony, which is like in Culver City. We live in Hollywood. It was like 6.5 miles. And every time leaving work, I would get home 20 minutes before I would actually get home, because there's like a stretch of Culver City that the city was not built for anything except making movies at the time, because you have the big Culver Studios where they did Gone with the Wind, and then you have Sony, which used to be MGM, and they did Wizard of Oz there. Hence the big rainbow at the Sony lot. The city itself is like, it like forks into this V where there's like a flat iron building-esque building.
Mm-hmm.
But now in Culver City you have Apple, Amazon, Warner Brothers Discovery in these giant office buildings that the city was never meant to have. So there's a block. There's like it takes 6 blocks. It can take about 45 minutes to go to just get out of the congestion of Culver City, to the point where we used to, if it was a Friday at Goldberg's and we were wrapping up and it was in the neighborhood of 5 to 6 o'clock, we would all walk to the bar and drink not a lot or eat something until we were ready to go
then
drive.
get in your car.
Then we were good to go. Guys, don't drink in Waymo. That's all I'm saying.
Just, couple road sodas before you go home.
Road soda and a hummus, some sort of shareable hummus. I am okay. So this was good though. I you know what I like most about the show is learning about what the hell you guys are doing when I don't see you.
Yeah.
This is like, now I'm getting a fuller picture of what day-to-day life is like. Let me follow this up. Now here's another question. As someone who has now, I've lived the last 3 years like I've been retired. I've just played golf and sat in front of my computer. That's like literally it. So my question now to you guys extends to the lunch. What is happening for lunch? If you're at home, Michael, are you cooking?
I mean, cooking is maybe a term of art in this case. I am eating food from home.
Yeah. Okay. So you're eating something.
I would say for the most part, maybe one day a week, maybe at most, I will go get a sandwich somewhere. But
So you're not.
No, I never do
DoorDashing.
DoorDash or Uber Eats. That's a bridge too far. That's
Okay. Well,
because then all of a sudden your lunch is like $60, and that's
I feel
just
terrible.
insane.
I mean, look, I've had days where I've 3 times DoorDashed, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, look, I will DoorDash dinner occasionally,
Yeah.
Occasionally.
Yeah.
We will do dinner sometimes. I think if Karen were here, she might admit to door dashing lunch every once in a while, but it's not.
Yeah,
I'm with Michael. I don't door dash lunch.
No, and my lunch is generally very utilitarian.
Yep.
Like it's like 2 slices of bread, some turkey,
Yeah.
and like a piece of Swiss cheese, and I
have
just
the
eat
luxury
that.
Like usually, I'm usually in the office on days when I'm teaching, and I work at home on days when I'm not teaching. This semester, I'm teaching 3 days a week, and 2 of those days, Georgetown provides lunch to the faculty. So that also obviates the need to plan anything.
Are these special like days? Like it's like on these 2 days we give lunch to the faculty. Or is it
one
like
of the days is our weekly workshop, which is lunch and someone presents a paper. And then one of the days is like a social lunch where they just put food out and expect folks to come and eat and talk to each other.
Okay. Do you mingle? Are you a mingler?
You don't need me to answer that question, Matt. You know the answer to that question full well.
I mean,
When a bunch of law professors get together at these social lunches, are you talking about the law topic du jour, or are you kind of like hitting on, hey, did you see the baseball game last night?
Hit or miss. It can be. It often depends on who the group is. Depends on what's going on. It's a good time for school gossip. We are a very large faculty, and so sort of like sharing what's going on like administratively is actually something that often happens at the social lunch. We don't have any norms. I spent part of a quarter visiting at the University of Chicago. And their lunches are insane because their lunches are, they all go to the faculty club. One person declares a topic, and then they all spend the rest of the lunch debating the topic.
Wow.
oh God.
Is there a teacher's lounge with like a old refrigerator and a sad microwave where like people go and like heat up their Tupperware?
So
or is that just like elementary schools?
At UT, we definitely had a faculty lounge where they had coffee and like newspapers, and maybe like only the faculty over the age of 70 ever used it. I don't think Georgetown has a faculty lounge. I think it's just I don't know. I don't know how that would work.
Maybe you could start one.
That's it's keeping with my extroverted socialness.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you got out of Texas at the right time, given their current standing with the state bar?
So, I mean, I think this is probably a longer conversation, but I do think, I mean, we did not leave, you guys know, we did not leave Texas because of the sort of declining political situation
Right.
and because
of course,
the growing attacks on the university. But, I look at a lot of what's happened since either we decided to leave or since we actually left. And I'm kind of glad, right, that we're, it's a lot easier for me to be me at a private university than at a school with a Public Records Act.
Right.
A lot easier to be me at a private school that's not, having a governor and lieutenant governor who call the president of the university and tell them who they're mad at. So
would you say that part of being you, though, has, at least what I've observed since you've effectively left Twitter, has toned down?
I don't know that I've toned down, Michael. I think maybe if anything it's that like the commentary has gotten so much more extreme that my very similar, I think, commentary provokes and draws less of that reaction now than it used to.
Yeah. You also like you're less of a target to the worst parts of the internet.
Yeah.
That's that's why I got off.
I still get nasty stuff. I still get nasty responses. Sometimes on Blue Sky even. I get nasty emails. I get people leaving nasty comments on my newsletter.
Right.
So, there's less of that, Michael. Because I'm not, by not posting on X a lot, I'm not leading with my chin.
Yeah.
I also think leaving Texas helped with that. Like, I think, I was more of a sort of discrete target in Texas in a way in which, oh no, there's a progressive law professor in Washington, D.C. Stop the presses.
Right. Do you miss X?
No. No, I mean, I have more followers now on Blue Sky than I ever had on Twitter.
Really?
For what that's worth, which I think is not very much. But, I'm sad that I think there are audiences and people who I no longer get to engage with and interact with by not being on Twitter anymore. But it's just not worth the cost. I mean, the vitriol and the toxicity are just not worth it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gotten to it's to the point where I just like when I left in I think early 2017, like after the election, and I just got into like some other argument about fucking Brexit or whatever the fuck it was. And I'm like, I'm just I just write jokes on television. I don't. And then I came up like the thing that like was like, oh, I get it, was when I realized that no one needs to know what I think. No one, I don't need to share my opinion with anybody whatsoever outside of my home. So I'm going to like take a step back from social. So I left 120,000 followers on Twitter and said goodbye. But I will say this. I also got off Instagram, and I am so detached now that I oftentimes feel like I don't know what's happening in the world. And I mean that not so much in the actual like what's happening in the world because I'm pretty plugged into news and politics, but I mean what's happening like with friends of mine or even like family members that might post something like Dory would be like,
we don't have like early 2010s Facebook anymore.
Yeah.
Yes. I miss 2015 Twitter.
Yeah. That's right. That was 2015 was like the apex.
I miss it.
Not coincidentally, when I worked there.
Michael, there might be something to that.
Causation,
Just saying.
I'm not the one who went to business school.
I worked there in 2015.
You did.
At its
it was
peak.
Great. It really was.
I mean, part of the problem for me, and like part of why I'm actually, jealous of you guys, is that like I can't really unplug. Yeah, Matt, I hear you in the other extreme, which is there's the danger that you like sort of become totally disconnected. But like for me to be effective at my job, and that includes, the sort of the teaching part and the newsletter part and the CNN part, like I sort of have to be on top of what's happening in the world. And, that's not a very happy experience right now.
Right.
Which is funny because I also can't unplug, but it has nothing to do with the effectiveness of my job. It's just a disease and an affliction.
It's the dopamine.
Michael, maybe my job is cover. Like maybe if I were, I don't know, an electrician, I wouldn't be able to unplug either.
I mean, knowing what I know about you, I think you would probably still be on there.
Yeah.
Steve, maybe you took your laptop to an indoor playhouse.
Maybe you wouldn't have gotten in as many fights. But I have a sense that you would still be consuming.
Matt, I had to write my newsletter at the indoor playhouse.
Like an indoor. We went to an indoor trampoline park or whatever it was, the whole family, and Steve brought his laptop.
I'm missing what the problem is here.
You got stuff done. I'm not saying what that is to color your type A-edness.
Little type A. I'd be like, it's funny because it's become a bit of a joke. So, Sydney, the 7-year-old, she is, as I think we alluded to before, super into ice skating now. So much so that she is on a synchronized skating team, which practices from 6 to 8 a.m. on Sundays.
God.
Which is fun for the whole family. But,
oh my God.
So, Karen pretended that it was like a serious conversation about who would take Cindy to skating at 5:15 in the morning on Sundays. But so like all the other parents like sit around during skating practice, just like shooting the shit. and I'm there on my laptop just writing Monday's newsletter. Like that's where I write Monday's newsletter.
I mean, that's
You
working
also-
smarter, not harder.
Yeah, Steve, you also have a extraordinary ability to sit down and do work.
Yeah.
Like if I had my laptop from 6 to 8 on a Sunday, there would be no work being done.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, I think it circles back to the sleep conversation, right? Because if
Yes.
I'm not working from 6 to 8, I'm working at 10 p.m.
Right.
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 And so it all feeds back into the same loop.
When does the semester end for you, Steve?
Last day of classes is April 22nd, but who's counting?
And then what happens? So what do you then do after April 22nd? You just wait until the fall?
Yeah, I just go on vacation for 4 months, Matt. I don't do anything in those 4 months.
No, it's a serious. I'm not saying it to be like, oh, you had nothing to do all summer, you lazy bum. I'm saying I'm genuinely interested in April 22nd rolls around. Then you have your next semester starts when?
August, like the week before Labor Day.
Okay, so it's essential. I mean, that was like Goldberg's. We'd wrap in April, and then we would start the next season August 7th or whatever it was.
I mean, so I think the problem
What
is
are you doing in between?
Yeah. I mean, at this point in my career, right? Like my classes are probably maybe 15%, right, of my overall work time. So writing. I'm working on a book. The manuscript is due. Gosh, May 1st.
Another one.
I know.
Oh my goodness. Shadow Dock it. Buy it now, everyone.
The newsletter comes out twice a week. That doesn't stop over the summer. Usually the Supreme Court's busiest month of the year is June, and so all of my Supreme Court related work tends to pick up in June.
Could you go to the Supreme Court hearings with a press pass? Could you get a?
We've actually. It's funny. This has been a matter of some conversation in the powers that be.
Does that mean you and Karen, or the powers of the press? The press.
So there are two of us. The other me is Kate Shaw, who's a professor at Penn, who also work for media organizations helping them cover the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court press office has some pretty strict rules about who's allowed to do what. So we are not. Kate and I, right, are not allowed in the press room on Supreme Court day on opinion days. We might be able to get a press pass for argument. It's probably not necessary because I'm a member of the Supreme Court bar, so I could just go wait in the bar line, which is easier than the sort of stand outside, wait all night line. But it's an interesting relationship.
Is that because you're a contributor to CNN and not an employee of CNN, or is it because you're a law professor, or because you're a member of the Supreme Court bar, or all of the above?
Right. I mean, it's they've never been very clear on exactly where the line is, just that we're on the wrong side of it. Right, and that's fine. I mean, I don't my life doesn't turn on whether I can be in the press room right when they hand down the opinions. We do it almost all remotely now anyway.
There's not still that person that takes it and runs it out to the steps or to the press
the reason
corps.
Why that's a pre-COVID thing, because what the court would sort of hand down the opinions both from the bench where they're physically reading it out and in the press room. And Michael, they wouldn't post it to the internet for 20 or 30 minutes. And so pre-COVID, the visual of interns running the physical opinion out to the reporters was out of necessity. So that the reporters who were outside the steps of the Supreme Court could tell you what was happening. Now, right, they post the opinions to the internet pretty much simultaneously. Maybe there's a 30-second gap. And so we're usually, when the court is doing stuff, CNN's reporter is there, and then we're all on this conference call, and then we're all frantically clicking refresh. So it's all basically done now through a sort of a Zoom and a Slack.
Let me ask you this. Depending on the case, I assume the time between you hearing the verdict and having to do a TV hit varies.
A lot.
But,
it can be an hour. It could be 90 seconds. That's the 90-second one is super fun.
Is it called? Is it a verdict or it's a decision? Right?
I wasn't correct. I wasn't going to correct.
No,
that.
I'm just curious. Like, what's the proper?
It's a ruling. It's a decision. There is a judgment in there, but people don't care about the judgment. People care about the opinion.
Right.
Like, what did they say? Right? Like, did they overrule Roe? Yes or no?
Right.
Spoiler alert. Yes.
I thought they weren't interested in dealing with established precedent and having to relitigate that stuff. But whatever. I mean, whatever. It's fine.
It is what it is.
But I mean,
Don't worry about it.
The nerdy point here is that it has gotten a lot easier to cover the Supreme Court since COVID, because there were a couple of accommodations that they had never been willing to make before that they had to make because of COVID, and that they couldn't then go back on.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll tell you, it's also easier to record podcasts since COVID because all the technology came out to push this exact thing into our faces, and I'm very
here we are
grateful for it. I'm grateful for it. I hadn't it. I went from 2020 to 2024 without recording a podcast in person with somebody, and it was amazing. Oh
There's
boy, you
I'm
better
being
take
covered.
it.
This might be a sign.
You know what? That's as good a note as any to wrap this up on.
Karen calling me.
We'll be back. Karen's calling, so we're out of here. I'll let you all know what my wife says about the things I said about her. I want to be clear. She's a great mother, a wonderful parent, and responsible for 90% of all the good things that happen around here.
And she also had no restrictions on TV when she was a kid. Just
By the way, thank
To
you.
be clear.
I'll be bringing that up. I'll be bringing that up shortly.
to be clear.
So,
Thanks, guys.
Michael, Steve,
All right.
great
See
job.
you next week.
I will talk to you guys next week.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.